good, I think.
Yep, so we're going to be getting started with another round pretty soon. Kenny is just letting them know they're going to be streamed and getting all that squared away. We're going to be seeing Justin Crossley, who we saw the round before last playing Kling Klang, against a friend of mine, Marc McDonald, and he is probably playing Darkrai. I don't know.
Masters players of the main event, this is your
You guys are probably going to find out what he's
eight.
playing the same
You have
time
this
we do,
round and one
unless
more.
Kenny is
Masters
successful in his
players, you have 50
investigation.
minutes plus 3. You may be
So we'll see. All of our friends call him Mark Rye, so I would assume he's playing Darkrai.
Kenny should
He's
just
a dark
start
guy.
drawing cards off his thing.
All right, I think the timer is actually going to work this game, so that's convenient. I see a Mr. Mime. That narrows it down a little bit. All right, hopefully this Ultra Ball
Yep, that Dark
clues us
Energy.
in on what he's playing. Dark Energy, all right.
Dark
So,
Energy.
as suspected, he is playing Mark Rye, his trademark deck. Notice the fresh signatures in the top right playmat of Justin, or corner of Justin's playmat.
Looking good, looking good.
God, we hear the best.
Well-drawn logo.
Thanks, Dad. So Mark has gone first, unless we missed an entire turn, but I don't think we did. Discarding an Enhanced Hammer, which was obviously good for him against a deck like Kling Klang, where he's not going to see any special energy. He started Mr. Mime, which, if you've ever played Mr. Mime in a deck, you know the frustration of starting it in a matchup where you don't need it. So that's an obstacle for him. But Darkrai, you're opening, like, the Pokemon you start with, if it's not Sableye, it's not really all that good. So it's not a huge deal to start with Mr. Mime. That will mean he, unless he plays Keldeo, he's going to have to attach to it eventually, which is most definitely like a waste of an energy attachment. So, bummer for him. He could be playing Darkrai Garbodor. A lot of people are still playing Mr. Mime in that, so we're not totally sure what he's playing, but I think it's pretty safe to assume it's straight Darkrai.
Yeah, it's been doing really well. I don't see
Yeah,
see many Darkrai Garbodor
And-
anymore.
I know Mark relatively well, and he sort of favors decks that are just like sort of straightforward and powerful. His playmat is really ugly, and I'm mad that he covered ours up, but too late to do anything about that.
Dude, Kenny's not doing his job over there.
I mean, yeah, we weren't going to let people use their own playmats. I guess we can cut Justin some slack since you can still see my name and I'm the best, but no excuses for Mark. All right, so they both draw from the end, so hopefully somebody's going to make a move soon. He attached to the Darkrai before he end. Can't imagine he's going to be doing a whole lot more this turn. It's debating another Ultra Ball. I'd imagine he's more concerned with discarding Darks than he is with getting more Pokemon out. I take it that's where the hesitation came from. Discards a Dark as anticipated, and the catcher is pretty sketchy. If you have a chance to take out their only Clink or their only Clang or even their only Kling Klang, that's definitely something you want to take advantage of. We're not sure if Mark plays Absol. I'm not seeing any. If he doesn't play Absol, this will definitely be an uphill battle. Even if he's only playing 1 or 2, I'd still see this matchup as being
It's still
pretty
not
much in
gonna be
Justin's
fun.
favor. We were talking with Justin earlier, and he pretty much attributed his success so far today just to hitting good matchups, and it seems like he's got another good one. So I don't want to speak too soon. Mark has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Junk Hunt combined with Catcher and Laser is really, really strong against Kling Klang. I don't remember from Justin's game we streamed earlier, like an absurd amount of switch cards. Mark could easily run him out of those. So Mark definitely has options, but I would say that he doesn't have a lot of options. I started that sentence before I thought of how I was going to finish it. It happens. So we've got a heavy ball from Justin. Another just like an advantage Kling Klang has always had is that the entire line is heavy ball searchable. We see a second Clink from Justin, which, I mean, that's not a surprise at all, but that is definitely big, just knowing that Mark now no longer has the option to take out the only Clink on Justin's field, at least not on his turn coming up. So
That's so weird to see Kling Klang still.
yeah, it's for sure.
Okay. Here's Switch retreated with the floats now.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have access to lists. Justin, I met him for the first time today, but I'm pretty sure we're best friends, so I could actually probably get his from him but it would just be on like a person-by-person basis. I don't think we have access to official deck lists. I think that would be something that would come with like closer relationships with like TPCI or like tournament organizers. But right now we're pretty much on the level of we'll stay out of your way. Just let us stick a camera on a table and sit in the corner. So there hasn't really been a whole lot of cooperation with us in the TOs. Cooperation, obviously. What's the collaboration? There we go.
There you go.
So Justin ended his turn with a beach. Marc does play Keldeo, so he's at least not going to have to touch the Mr. Mime. But starting that Mr. Mime is kind of a bummer. Marc needs another Dark Patch to be able to Night Spear this turn, and being able to Night Spear this turn is going to be really big. Just assuming Justin can get a turn 2 Kling Klang, which obviously that's not a guarantee by any means. But Marc needs to be playing under the assumption that it's a possibility, if not a probability. So he's definitely going to want to at least try to Night Spear this turn. Oh, he plays Switch. All right.
Yep, there it is.
Cool. That's pretty unorthodox, but obviously very, very good for him. And
do we know how that ends there?
I would imagine he just puts his supporters above his discard pile till the end of his turn, so he doesn't play 2 because he doesn't have the short-term memory.
I thought it was there his last turn, but
it could have been. I don't know. I've been known to play a card and put it in a weird part of my playmat and then leave it there for like 6 turns.
it
happens. All right, so Justin just heavy balled for a Kling Klang, so we're either going to see. No, we're seeing a Kling Klang. There's no way to avoid it. I was thinking maybe he was like just getting it out so he could beach for more, but that would have made more sense than Ultra Ball. So yeah, there's the candy and the Kling Klang. And suddenly, Marc is out of the game for the time being. He's just immediately going to have to switch to either Absol if he plays it or like Junk Hunt shenanigans. But that turn 2 or turn 2? That was no. Man,
sure.
I'm not very good at this. Whatever. So Marc's Night Spear.
Early.
The early Night Spear
I don't know.
was definitely what he needed to go for then, because if it would have worked, it could have won in the game. But Justin has made it very clear that that's not an option. He is not going to be able to win this game with Night Spear. So it's up to Marc to figure out what he can do to take 6 prizes without Night Spearing again. It's kind of hard to predict any of Marc's plays, not knowing whether or not he plays Absol. I don't think he does. I'm seeing Bicycle, Switch, Keldeo, a lot of cards that
all the signs of straight Darkrai.
Straight Darkrai. It's a 54 card skeleton. Like there is not a lot of variation. So when you see off the wall stuff like Bicycle and Switch, it's pretty hard to imagine how he could fit in more than one Absol. Yeah. And even one Absol is very manageable for Justin. So my predictions have been a little off today, so I'm not going to try to sound too confident, but I definitely think Justin has the upper hand here.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think it's winnable to just do stabilize shenanigans, but it's so fragile and not
for sure.
a deal.
It's definitely not what Marc would rather just Night Spear 6 Clinks or do whatever, but I think Junk Hunt tricks are going to be his only out here, and it's happened. It does happen, so he's definitely, it's not out of the question. Marc plays a second Switch into his Darkrai. Somebody in the chat is going to have to help me remember counts because I'm not very good at that, but that's pretty relevant. We know Marc plays at least 2 Switch now, which is... Oh, hey, we have a notepad. Man, I am so unprofessional. Looks like... I'm assuming Marc's just about to play Supporter, that's why he switched to the Free Retreater.
We had 2.
He's got a Bicycle in his hand. I see a Dark Patch as well. Got a tickle in my throat.
I'll play in the side events. I'll be your last
just
person.
Watching them talk, they're both like smiling and gesturing. I love both of these guys. I'm glad that they're having a friendly game.
Yeah, dude, Justin's awesome. I don't know why I never met him before today.
I've known Marc for a while, but we've never been super close. But he's just always someone I like say hey to and like, hey, what's your record? Like that kind of friend.
Yeah.
But I definitely like Marc and Justin. I've met quite a few people today, and Justin is definitely the coolest dude I've met. Like he's just super, just like a great sport. Like he was really humble. Like when I asked him how his games went, he just pretty much credited like matchups and luck, and my deck did what it was supposed to do. Like he's just very like grounded, doesn't he hasn't let his performance today get to his head at all.
Yeah, if you saw the interview with him, he went out of his way to say that his
Yeah.
opponent played well.
He was like, another thing that made it kind of hard is that my opponent was just a great player, which is just not something you really hear from an opponent. So that was cool. Like he's an awesome dude.
Because he lost that one too, right?
Yeah, and he lost. Like so, I mean, just being that positive after a pretty tough loss. You check out the recordings if you're watching this recorded, or if you're watching it live, check out the recordings later. But that game went very, very poorly for Justin. He actually played against Chris Fulop the very next round, playing the same matchup, and Justin said he beat him pretty handily. So draws and luck had a pretty big role in his loss to Plasma a few rounds ago. Back to the turn at hand. We saw him bench a Durant and Juniper. It looks like Marc just ended up passing with his Darkrai active last turn. Not entirely sure why, but I'm not saying it's a bad play. I just can't think of like a particular reason he would have done that. But I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Justin has to be really careful about where he's attaching his energy. Just with the lack of shift gear, this deck lost a really, really big resource. And something we were talking about is how scary it is to play Kling Kling because you're just telegraphing all of your moves. Like, your opponent always knows, like, if they have a turn where you can't Steel Bullet or not. Like, there's no way to really have any tricks up your sleeve. So Marc has that advantage where Justin's deck is more of a board state than anything. Marc doesn't really have to concern himself with Justin's hand or his resources or anything like that. Marc just needs to find a way around it. Sorry, resources was a bad example because Marc needs to utilize Justin's lack of resources to win. He needs to run him out of switch cards. Well, you know what I mean. Nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah, no one cares. Everyone's watching our stream of the side events.
Dude, we should stream the side events. Justin has his deck box out. Did he rip his sleeve or something? I look away for 10 seconds.
You grabbed that point.
Oh, the poison counter, alright. Every time I look away from the screen, I miss something important. Which happens a lot. I actually am just not looking at the screen. Chat is having our own discussion. Good, I'm glad nobody's terribly concerned with my commentary.
Okay. Mike's not paying attention either.
I'm more than willing to admit that it's pretty subpar.
Don't flatter yourself.
So,
Off the show.
actually, it looks like Kenny is getting into a verbal altercation with a female judge.
Jeez.
Kenny just hit a girl, guys.
That's
Kenny
not good.
just slapped her right in the face.
Oh,
And he's pooping on her. Kenny is pooping on a girl.
yeah,
Wow.
he's
Kenny,
off the show.
Kenny, come on, dude. You can't. Hold on a second. Kenny, you can't do that, man. You can't.
Yeah, we're gonna have to let him go. That is uncalled for.
Wish him the best in his future endeavors. I have the same question about that Verbank. I think Marc just slid it a little bit when he played it.
Because that N was there for a while.
Yeah, Marc is putting his cards all over the place, but I'm fairly certain that is the Darkrai player's Verbank. I feel like Fizzy Stardust would be so good at commentary.
He is.
Wish he was here.
Although that stabilized the sleep, so maybe Kling Kling did play the Verbank. Would be
It's
good if we were
definitely
playing
not
something.
uncommon for Kling Kling to play lasers. I wouldn't be surprised if he played a Verbank. I saw a beach, so we know Justin plays beach, but we definitely don't know how many. All of our friends have played against him. Is nobody around?
No one is here.
Oh yeah, I guess they're all playing. So waking up here is going to be pretty important. Marc is awake. I guess he has a Keldeo. I'm talking out of my rump. There's quite a bit of damage on that Cobalion. I think Marc definitely needs to keep in mind that these games are going to be pretty drawn out. I think whoever wins game 1 will be at a huge advantage, just the way this matchup plays out. As soon as a Kling Klang hits the board, the game just screeches to a halt, and it's very slow and methodical. Lots of 30 damage from its Cabalion, and then like a laser and a catcher, and then a switch, and then a laser and a catcher and a junk hunt. And, we're definitely going to see. I don't expect to see 3 full games. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it all the way through a game 2. They're still at 6 and 6 prizes. They've been playing for close to 15 minutes. There are heavily damaged GXs on the board, so we will see a few prizes taken soon, but definitely worth mentioning that they have not made a whole lot of progress as far as the game state goes.
Dude, I hate playing against Kling Klang with Darkrai. I hate this Sableye catcher laser nonsense. It sucks.
To answer your question, Pixel Fat, I strongly recommend that you don't find Hayfonte. Maintain your purity and avoid it at all costs. So Justin is playing pretty quick. It looks like he's got something spooky up his sleeve.
Yeah, he looks excited.
Yeah, exactly. You can always tell. So Justin is 2 for 2 on his opponent's reading his Plasma Kling Klang while on stream. You can tell that
That's so funny.
we here on the bubble are not the only people who haven't seen this deck in a while, so it's funny to see a lot of other people disoriented.
I'll be honest with you, I had to look up a scan.
Nerd.
I couldn't remember if you had to have a metal energy attached to them or not.
You don't.
No, I know. I know that now, but I don't know why I thought that.
It would be so bad if you did.
Yeah, it would.
So Marc just lost a Sableye. We see that he has one in his hand and a bicycle, so he should be able to junk hunt this turn. But just the fact that being able to junk hunt does not necessarily mean he's in any sort of good spot.
Oh, this game sucks. If I was Marc, I would have scooped by now. But
Yeah, I'm really bored.
I suck. It's kind of my weak point. If I'm playing against Durant or Plasma Clang, I just scoop.
It looks like Marc feels like he's been doing enough junk hunting, and now he's going to start Confuse Ring. Not necessarily, but he did put a Dark Lion Sableye, and that is an option. Sableye is technically his only non-EX tower attacker. He captured that Kling Klang, and I just saw him draw a laser and a Dark Patch, so he has everything he needs to junk hunt or Confuse Ray for like 60 this turn. So he's not in the worst of ways at all. If Justin can't switch, he'll take 30 going into his turn, 30 coming out, and I guess that's not super. I can't do math. I got in a car wreck like 6 hours ago. I'm sorry.
6 hours ago.
Oh my god, it's been like 12 hours.
Yep.
God, Pokemon turn. It's 9:30, and we are in the second to last round of Swiss. This is absurd. Anybody who thinks John Bristow is fully to blame for shuffling his hand and off that end has clearly never played Pokemon for 15 hours straight. Yeah, Fizzy, I'm totally fine.
Yeah, dude, just a broken collarbone.
Just a broken collarbone. It happens. I tore my quadricep. Only Fizzy Stardust will get that joke. And he didn't hear it. Dang it.
Dang it.
Shucks. Alright, so Justin is playing some cards. That's about as much as I can tell you because I have been staring at the chat. It looks like Marc's catcher laser tricks were... Oh, I need the chat. Marc's catcher laser tricks were unsuccessful, or at least unfruitful. Maybe not a total failure. But Justin has his Cabalion EX back in the active, and he is knocking out that Sable guy. Okay, I love you, good night. Alright, so Marc is down 2 Sableye. Marc plays a lot of cards in his deck. I wouldn't be surprised if he only played 3 Sableye.
I would imagine he plays 60.
This just in, I'm actually getting official word. Marc does play 60 cards, so... Marc plays a lot of wacky cards in his deck,
Okay.
Chase. God, you dingus. You know what I meant. So if Mark plays 3 Sableye, he's in a pretty tough spot. If Mark plays 4 Sableye, he's in a pretty tough spot. I can't really stress enough that I just
Mark's in a bad spot.
matchup blows.
Yeah, he really needed Justin to not set up that well.
All right, Fizzy got my joke. We're good. Can people start calling me Big Diesel instead of Megatron? Nobody calls me Megatron. I wish people called me Megatron.
You mean Big Diesel?
I mean Diesel. Fizzy can be Razor Ramon. Any chance we can get sideboards at some point with us moving? Absolutely not, Lewis. I think.
Neat.
I mean, yeah, it'd be really interesting. I just don't see it happening. Pokemon has put way too much work into simplifying the game. I don't think they would add something so complicated. There's a lot of options for cheating. There's a lot of work. Like, the ratio of people who play Pokemon casually to people who play Pokemon competitively, there are a lot of people who just don't want to put that much extra effort. I could be wrong.
I think you're...
Like,
I think you're
see what
kinda
I'm
wrong on
coming?
that
You think I'm wrong?
Yeah, I mean, like, I get what you're saying, but like, we have a record-breaking regionals in the first season where they're charging money, right?
Yeah,
Or do you think that's
that's
different?
pretty valid. I just think if they did it, I'm sure it would only be for Masters, but I wouldn't even entertain the idea. I just don't see it happening. Especially, see, if I had 1 minute to think before I started talking, I'd be so much more well-spoken. Here's an argument. There's a perfect argument. Pokemon is too matchup-based. Like, it would, sideboards could just ruin it because 6 cards can completely swing your favor. Like, if you had a 10-card sideboard, that's the difference between Darkrai and Darkrai Garbodor. That's the difference between, like, Virizion Genesect and Virizion Mewtwo. That's the difference. Like, it's just, yeah. I think Pokemon is so matchup-based that if you knew what your opponent was playing and they didn't, you have an unbelievable advantage with the sideboard. I just don't see it happening.
Did anyone from Florida come here?
Besides Thoy, I don't know. Yeah, at that point, Lewis, it's just like rock or scissors. Like, well, he's gonna throw rock, so I should throw paper, but he knows I'm thinking that, so I should throw scissors, but he knows I'm thinking that, so I should throw rock. Like, I see that being really obnoxious and unnecessary. Just an update on the current Hovercat domination. Scott Lawler and Dustin Zimmerman, both who are at X1 and 1, just both won their first games in their matches. Justin Sanchez is not here, or he's blending in really well, and I've managed to dodge him for 12 hours. But
Pretty
I
sure
have
he's
a
in
feeling I
Houston.
would have seen him by now.
Pretty sure he's in Houston.
All right, so I just looked away from the game for like 30 seconds. Sorry. Martindale, I think there's around 300 masters. Chase is typing it. Holy crap. That's a lot. All right, so I can't
He
tell
doesn't
whose
have another
turn it
Sableye
is.
yet.
They're both holding cards.
We've been doing a lot, and he just still doesn't
Yeah,
have a Sableye.
I
That
guess I
sucks.
haven't missed much. The Cabalion's Poison, which is just
Well,
helping to exhaust resources, but I think Justin can start recycling switch cards with Durant, and that is just curtains for Mark. The only outs Mark had were just early Night Spears and stalling with switch cards. Justin had super strong answers to both of those, and I think Mark will just need to get some lucky ends for this switch strategy to work. But even then, I think it's a long shot. I'm so pessimistic. 2 minutes into this game, I started talking about how I thought Mark was going to lose, and I haven't let up since.
Mark's probably gonna lose.
I love Mark. I wish they could both win. I hate when people like
Dude, draws.
play each other.
We have draws now.
Oh, they should
both
draw.
can win.
No, they can't afford to draw because if you lose a game,
Oh, yeah.
no, 7-1-1 could still make it. So draw wouldn't be the end of the world, but they'd both have to win last round. Yeah, 5 rounds tomorrow. Whoever just asked. Lewis,
Discard above deck isn't a game loss.
people.
That's what I do.
No, it's a game loss if you knock your deck over, like if you
Oh,
accidentally
yeah.
get your stuff fixed. A lot of people, it's just like a risk they're willing to take. It happens
Is it riskier that way?
so rarely. In
Like, it seems like discard behind deck was riskier. I don't know. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't think so.
Or it seems the same to me then.
Either way, I am far more concerned with having my field and my deck and my discard and my prizes in a way that's comfortable and convenient for me than I'm happy to risk the 1 in a million chance of knocking my deck over and getting a game loss. Like, rather than the 1 in a billion chance and doing it right and having it like look awkward.
I do discard in front of deck so that my opponent can grab it without knocking my deck over.
That's a pretty good
It's just
argument.
easier for them to grab it and look at it.
I mean, it's easier, yeah, and like that's definitely worth noting because your opponent is more likely to like reach
Look, someone
over.
won.
So yeah, Lewis, I think it's a matter of like your opponent needing to access your discard versus like I think there are arguments.
That's my logic for
There
it.
are arguments to be made on either side, and I think it's dumb to make arguments anyway, and nobody cares. So
Mark won.
all right, so Mark takes a decisive game 1. No, for those of you not paying attention, like me. What's up? Justin did win game 1 pretty decidedly. Matchup played out about how we expected it to. Mark scooped to save time, which was a pretty smart play on his part because he's gonna need to win a quick game 2 and then go for a tie or try to win 2 quick games. But Justin has shown with his Durant that Mark can't really win a long game. So
Yeah, that Durant's so good.
Mark is definitely playing for a tie, most likely, unless he can just get 2 really, really quick wins on like bad draws. But Justin also has a tendency to draw pretty poorly on camera, so it's anybody's game. Colin Mall just lost his match. We are all mourning.
That's too bad. Was he on the cusp?
I'm not entirely positive what his record was.
I went out of my way to not
It's
say
not
on the
safe.
bubble.
Yeah, I think Colin's right on the.
Mm.
He's on the thing where you're not quite at the brink.
Yeah.
Colin's on the brink.
On the
We should just name our show something stupid, like on the cusp.
how about on the bubble?
On the bubble is honestly stupid. I hated it when you guys first told me, and I didn't. It didn't grow on me. I just got used to it and stopped hating it because I just stopped caring. I stopped getting sick of hearing it.
I just call it OTB.
I think that's worse. Abbreviations are the devil.
All right, well,
Landy, Thundy.
Sable guy.
Sable guy doesn't bother me. I think that's funny.
You hated Sable guy and Nats. I swear.
It depends on who's saying it, honestly.
Like if I'm saying it, it's fine.
If someone I like says it, except for you.
Oh.
Just kidding. Don't like you.
Dang it.
Yep, that was game 1. Elrogue. Justin won relatively decisively. The numbers to the left of the player names are the game boys. The game counts. Game counts.
And to the right is their total count.
All the games.
All full. record.
Justin is poisoned already. Gosh, they're playing so fast. So Mark went first. Was not able to junk hunt, which is bummer. Didn't play supporter, which is a mega bummer. He just laser Verbanked and put 30 on a clank.
Yakura Tate.
You know what we don't need?
Please make your way over to the Volcarona for side event 4, Yakura Tate.
Wait, what?
Just some Esper cameo. I don't
I
know.
love Esper. Did you see Fizzy's post in the chat?
What do you say?
Said away from keyboard, don't make any references. That
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
looking. That's gonna be hard to refrain from doing that, honestly.
I love Fizz's encyclopedic knowledge of obscure
Everything,
things.
but specifically professional wrestling.
Yeah. Well, no. Honestly, everything.
Him and Zach should have a human encyclopedia contest. For those of you who have never met Zach Dalton, you are missing out, and I feel sorry for you.
That's not true.
So Clink just died from poison going into Mark's turn.
That sucks.
Yeah, it looks like Justin had a pretty poopy turn too. So if Mark draws out of it before Justin, it looks like he could pull off the quick game 2 and then draw to game 3 to a tie. I see random receiver. So yeah, Mark is gonna start playing some cards or get another crappy hand. Who knows? I'm not stupid like Kenny, so I'm not going to talk about the card arts that they're playing because that's not interesting to anybody.
Dude,
So-
we're playing promo ones, dude. Chobo promo. I don't know.
Nah.
Check out TopCutCentral.com. Buy a mat.
Yeah,
support Jimmy.
guys,
He's a
that
good
would
guy.
seriously be so cool.
The more mats I see in the field, the happier I get.
For sure.
Like ones that I didn't have to lend out and be like, please use this, please.
We're having the absolute time of our lives doing this, and just having people tell us they appreciate it and like show it by buying mats or like we're not asking for like
This
rude,
morning-
but
this-
like the only way you can show us that you appreciate us is by spending money. Like but when people like go out of their way to like just support us, like at like little things like asking us to sign mats or like buying mats or posting the link to our show on like when we're live. I don't know. We really really appreciate you guys.
When we sold our old mats for like $22 or something unreasonable, and people actually bought them, I was so happy.
Yeah, that was dope. The first 2 rounds at spring regionals this past year, both of my opponents told me they heard of the show, and I about teared up. It was way too cool because that was back when the show totally sucked, and we weren't even streaming tournaments. We were just talking about butts to like 20 viewers a week, and now we still talk about butts to 20 viewers a week, but we stream games.
Yeah. Mats are $17.99. That includes shipping as well.
Yeah, Lewis, I agree with you on playing the catcher before the receiver. I don't know if you guys heard my rant on promoting Keldeos, but I think that's another hidden skill, is just a card that defines your turn should always be the first thing you play. Not knowing what supporter you're going to play that turn, but then still playing another card, I think that seems pretty unwise. But Marc's playing quickly. It didn't have a big impact on the game. I saw a silver mirror in his hand. What is he doing? What doesn't he play?
It's just got everything in there.
Anyway, the mats are about $20. I'm not positive about worldwide shipping. I wouldn't be surprised if we could work something out for you. Contact us on Facebook. If you can't do it directly through the site, just let us know on Facebook, and we can talk to Jimmy personally and see what he can do about shipping worldwide.
I assume we ship internationally. Simon just ordered one.
No,
We definitely ship to Canada.
Nah.
It's not really international, I guess.
So yeah, back to this. Marc.
There's the silver mirror.
Yeah, and I mean that's not that bad. I don't see that being a huge difference maker, but I also don't see a reason not to attach it other than maybe wanting a Dark Claw later. Justin's got 2 energy on that Clink, so I'd really like to see like a catcher laser from Marc.
Yeah, put on some good pressure.
God, if he could kill it with like Dark Claw, laser, Confuse Ray, that'd be bananas. But
he just
yeah,
attached
Dark Claw's
silver
not an
mirror.
option. So maybe there's a reason not to attach the mirror. But he doesn't even have a Clink out. I guess he could just try to Night Spear soon. Regardless, Justin is running very poorly, and if Marc can capitalize on this, we might see a game 3 and probably a tie.
Yeah, probably. I can see this going to time. Such a Clink Clang just is all about stalling you out. I don't know if that's
Yeah, dude,
that
Clink
effective
Clang is
anymore with
all
the
about
prize
stalling
rolls.
you out, for sure. I totally agree.
Hey.
Gotcha. But for sure, yeah. I definitely stand by my statement that Clink Clang is not just like a setup deck in terms of setup decks, but it's like a board state deck. Like you either are just you're Cling Clanging or you're not. It's not really about.
You're either clinging or you're clanging.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing Justin is really clanging the bed right now.
He stayed asleep. That's not good.
Yeah, jeez.
Clanging the bed all over.
This is getting pretty brutal. But I also think that the matchup is so tilted towards Cling Clang that if Justin can draw out of it before Marc is down to like 3 prizes, I could still see a win from Justin.
And
And
time might come into play on that one though.
oh, for sure. But Justin did win game 1, so
Yeah, he'd be.
this game will finish. There's 17 minutes left.
Yeah.
I don't see them not finishing game 2. So Justin could very easily seal his 7th win and secure his place in the top whatever tomorrow, day 2. 5 more rounds. Can't think of a concise way to.
Top 32? Not really.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I guess it's technically the top 32, but don't want to be confusing by making people think it's a top cut.
Top 32 Swiss? Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
we're new to this. This is new. This is a new problem.
I'm new to everything. I'm a baby.
Yeah.
Infant.
I was born today. In a car.
No, Lewis. Justin will not hit 21 points if he gets 2 draws. So his placement in day 2 will if Justin were to finish 6-1 and 2, or Marc for what it's worth, their spot in day 2 Swiss will be determined by resistance. Some 6-1-2s will make it, some 6-1-2s won't. So
Yeah, it's completely up in the air.
if there's a winner of this match and it's not a draw, that person is guaranteed day 2 of Swiss. And again, I just can't get over the fact that these guys are 6-1 at a regional and they're not already guaranteed top cut or day 2 or whatever.
It's crazy.
Like, that's just really, really brutal. So with best of 3 trying to mitigate like donks and bad matchups, I think the system is just as unforgiving of a bad game because one bad match is still a loss that's probably going to keep you out of day 2.
Yeah, it might be a little bit less likely, but with time issues, it's entirely possible.
About a stall deck not having ties, I definitely wouldn't call Kling Kling a stall deck. Cavalion does 100 damage. If they're not attacking you, you shouldn't have to attack more than like 7 or 8 times. Just do 100 over and over and take 6 prizes. So it's not fast by any means, but I mean, its win condition is still taking 6 prizes, not like deck out or rage quit or whatever. Wish I had some water.
Yeah, me too.
Got a tickle in my throat.
Zach, you should get us water. I don't know. It's your job. Figure it out. Thanks, buddy.
Is he actually getting us water?
I don't think so. He's not moving.
Zach, I got in a car wreck today.
Zach,
All I want is a glass of water.
he almost died.
Wow. All right, so we saw an N from Justin, which isn't like game breaking or anything. They both had 6 prizes. Justin is looking for a switch here.
Oh, no.
Justin is doing the classic Dustin Zimmerman pat, pointing at some cards.
Justin Bimmerman?
Justin Bimmelman, my dad.
Justin Bimmerman's really good. He got 3rd at Worlds.
Same. What? So, Kenny is much better at filling silence than we are, clearly. But
yes.
I guess I can talk about what I played today. I played TEX and Terrakinex, and a lot of people are playing it with Driftblim, and I used those spots to play Leafeon and a Zoroark line, hoping that would help my Blastoise matchup, which it sort of did, but I still did really poorly. So,
would you have changed decks in hindsight?
Oh, absolutely. My
Yeah.
deck blew. I did not test it nearly enough.
Well, whatever.
That's fine. I don't care. All right, so Justin has been hitting these switches pretty much every time he needs him. He's really picking up his pace of play because he wants to try to get a win here. Oh, wait, no, he wins if this goes to time. So Justin, I really like his odds.
In that case, he's not being lame
Yeah.
and stalling out.
But either way,
In fact, he's doing the opposite.
whatever, you're the worst. See, another catcher for Mark. I know Justin has been able to switch out of these quite a few times. His hand is just a Cavalion and a Tool Scrapper, so it looks like this one's going to stick. Something that I would have liked to see from Justin is maybe hold on to switches until he could start Duranting them back. But it looks like he
doesn't really have a
is not going to be
choice.
able to. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get a Durant on his turn. So Mark's got him in a pretty tough spot. He's not going to be able to get a Durant on this coming turn, barring a top deck, which I guess anything could happen. But looks like this catcher is going to stick, and then Mark has to decide how he wants to capitalize on. He's finally about to get to like stage 2. Oh, and he ended away that horrible hand. So
Right, well,
now that could be anybody's game again. I really want to see a Durant from Justin. He's played like 2 switch already, maybe 3. So I'm hoping. I mean, not necessarily hoping. Like I'm trying to be objective. I'm just saying
I'm hoping.
he is hoping for a switch.
I've never met Mark.
I love Mark. Mark has that Tool Scrapper in hand, so Floatstone isn't the best out either, but he can still. I don't know. It looks like he's stuck there for the time being. Justin does have a Juniper in his hand, so next turn he will most likely be able to get out of this situation, depending on how many switches he has left. if one of Justin's switches is prized, that could make an enormous difference just because that's cuts. Oh, and he top decked a switch.
Well, there it is.
Cool. So we see Mark playing really, really fast. I hardly even noticed that a turn had started before it ended. So Mark is definitely aware of the fact that Justin has a huge advantage in terms of time. Mark knows that he needs to win this game as quickly as possible and
Win another game on top of it.
and just donk a clink or something. Like he's playing fast because anything can happen, which is really smart on his part. He knows in the back of his mind, and everybody who's watching knows that Mark is pretty much playing for a tie, but Mark can still benefit from playing quickly because if they get to game 3, it's a 90% chance it ends in a tie, but there's that 10% that he could just donk or do something ridiculous. And Justin doesn't really have a way to win a 2-minute like stupid game, whereas Mark could like kill a lone clink or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's that. I definitely think Mark is playing for a tie, but he's smart to be rushing just to try to get to a game 3 because if game 3 happens, if game 3 finishes, it'll be because Mark won in like 3 or 4 turns. But if game 3 happens, it probably won't finish. I'm gonna have to take a quick break. Kenny is standing next to me, and I can't really breathe. He smells so bad. He's gonna eat me.
Dude, he totally threatened to eat you.
All right, so Kenny is here. You want to share a microphone so you can help commentate?
Sure, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Hey, can you guys hear Kenny all right? We're practically kissing. These microphones are on headsets, so I mean, we really have to.
Chase the engineer.
Damn it, genius.
Same. So, Kenny, I'm glad that you're here because you're a lot better at filling silences, and this game is really uneventful.
Is it
Yeah.
just like
It's
I
just
remember
Sableye
when
laser
like,
catcher,
yeah,
Sableye laser
the old
catcher,
matchup
switch.
works.
Sableye catcher, laser switch.
But just in one game one?
Yeah.
Same player?
Justin, that Durant came through for him. He was just able to keep Duranting switches back until Mark just scooped for time. That's another thing. I think once Justin was getting into the swing of like recovering those switches with Durant, Mark could have maybe scooped a little bit sooner. I'm still not totally sure what he's thinking in terms of time. It's possible that he is just playing for a tie and doesn't have like the ridiculous like high hopes that I do for game 3, but
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's being realistic on this.
I'll be the first one to tell you anything can happen, but I also wholeheartedly agree that this game is going to be a tie or a win for Justin. Justin still has not gotten a Durant out, so these switches are just sort of, he's just kind of plugging holes with his fingers as opposed to like actually countering Sableye. So I definitely
I
think
thought that metaphor was going to continue.
he's gonna start running out of fingers, and then he's gonna have to start using his toes, and then what I'm saying
He's
is
only got 4 fingers.
he's
chose to plug a Sableye.
what I'm saying
It's
is
a ghost,
he's
man.
using
You
his
can't
switch.
plug it.
He's using switch cards to butt plug Sableye, and he needs to get a Durant out and have like a permanent response, or else he'll just run out of switch cards, and Mark could take this game. Mark has taken a pretty good lead on prizes. It looks like he has 4 left, so not pretty good, but oh, they're tied on prizes. Either way, the point being Mark has taken 2 prizes, meaning this game is not out of reach for him. But as I've said a zillion times, I still don't think he's going to win.
You're fired.
I'm fired. Nick Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. 6-2-0. 6-2-0. So 1 more win for Nick Campbell, and the Hovercat domination will continue with another person going into day 2 of Swiss.
Now, I don't know if that really counts. Like, who isn't a Hovercat in Indiana?
All the people we don't like, which is almost all of them.
You hate so many Hovercats.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's not even true because I hate all my friends. Fizzy, you haven't missed much. but we've missed a lot because we haven't been paying attention. Zach Dalton, I could kiss you. This handsome devil just got us some water, and there's a handshake. I should be watching, I think.
Dude, water. Sorry.
Did Justin win?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Justin won. It does. Mark's not in a hurry to set up a game 3, and he's getting out his deck box. Oh, yep, they're signing the slip. So Justin has won. Mark, I guess.